everybody, and welcome to another edition, the last edition of our Gatecrash Set review.
We're just going to have to wait after this video for Dragon Maze.
God. But we'll be back for Dragon's Maze.
We will.
But first, we got to get through all the green cards, all the Gruel cards.
All my favorite cards.
The rest of the artifacts, including the clear off. And one stage. And the very special stage we'll talk about later. I'm Evan Irwin. This is Brad Nelson.
Yes.
We're here to talk about the cards. You're here to listen to us talk about the cards, and we appreciate you joining us. So we're going to hop right in.
Let's do it.
The weirdest evolved creature of all time.
It feels like it should have already been evolved, right? Like,
it feels like a weird design test, you know? Like, I want to work at Wizards R&D, and they're like, what do you think about this card? And you're like, that is a joke. And then you get it back. It's just, it doesn't, but for what it's worth, I think it's actually going to exist to trigger other evolved creatures.
Oh, yeah.
Far more than it'll ever do itself.
Oh, it'll never.
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to say never. I think there is like a couple 7-power guys here somewhere, but.
It is very interesting that for a 6/2 with evolve, so it like never gets there, so it always just trades with their bears and.
It just seems like the weirdest. I mean, really, if you're going to put your keyword on something, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
They probably needed more, but yeah, this will trigger all the other evolves, never itself.
That's adorable. All right, so Alpha Authority. You are the Alpha, son. Can be blocked by more than one creature. Yeah, you got Hexproof.
Finally, we can put Hexproof on anything, because that's everything anyone's ever wanted.
I mean, they just don't care anymore.
Why does Geist get Hexproof and my Restoration Angel doesn't?
Everyone gets Hexproof. You get Hexproof, and you get Hexproof, and you get Hexproof. R&D gives Hexproof to everybody. Because who cares?
Yeah, we might as well. Who wants to target or interact at all? We've got the answer.
Nope. Not only can you not target
him,
you're only going to block with him with one guy ever. Good luck with that if it's on a huge fatty dragon thing, because now it has Hexproof and the game's probably just over. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Okay.
I actually think this card's really good.
Limited seems absolutely like you just put it on something scary that you want to live or has a really good ability, like a guild mage or something. You know, so you give it Hexproof so it can just live and just do things. And then it just sort of goes nuts from there.
Yeah, this card's going to be really frustrating to play against. I'm not looking forward to it.
I mean, at least it's uncommon, so okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, I think people are probably just going to undervalue it, and you're probably going to get it really late. And no one's going to really respect it until they get ran over by it. And I don't know if that's actually going to change. It feels like one of those cards that just continually does that, that it's not good enough to sort of like get a lot of fanfare. Yep. It's good enough that where you get blown out by it and you're like, oh, that's stupid
card. Are you kidding me? People love Hexproof. They're like, oh, I can make my creature not die to the removal? Yes, please. Thanks, I'm in.
Well, I hope so. I hope they like it. But in limited only, it's a fine card. Burst of Strength. Okay.
I love the untap on this. Like, I've always liked the spider grasp kind of thing.
I've always liked the idea of the gotchas.
Yeah.
I love the gotchas. And that's good. And it's not just the giant growth gotcha, but just like they thought everything was clear, shields were down, and nope, and gotcha.
Especially for such a cheap amount of mana.
Right, just one. And you put a counter on it. Like, okay.
You can hide it pretty well.
Sure.
Like hide it in your mana. It's a fun little combat trick in limited.
It's not going to, like, maybe your 23rd card.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be anything you're super excited about. And it's probably going to be cut versus other more powerful spells. So here's a Crocanura. What? Croca who?
The Simics really are out of control.
Crocodile
where's
frogs?
PETA?
I just like I want to read the art description for this card. Like, we're talking about a crocodile frog. Okay, got a big tongue. It's gonna be eating a bird. What?
Like, look behind it. Is that a cave or another monster though?
I don't know. Maybe a monster.
It looks like a turtle kraken.
Woo! A turtle kraken. Oh man, I want that card. Where's that card at? Come on. But for all jokes aside, as a 3-mana 1/3 reach evolve, this card is awesome.
It's a very good giant spider. It's going to just become a better giant spider, and I love those effects.
Man. I want to make it a 3/5, reach guy, and then like he's probably not going to need bigger, maybe, but doesn't matter. That's really good.
Well, once he's 4/6, he just gets to attack. 4/6 is so good.
Yes.
But yeah, I like this because it's a cheaper. Like, think of it on turn 4. You trigger this. It's a giant spider. You know, and giant spider has been so good forever. Trust me, I love that card. I drafted high in every format.
Can't believe they took it out of the core set. So sad. It was the last one.
Yeah.
So sad. But you think about 4 mana for that, for a 2/4 reach, which is absolutely fine. Great limited card. You're paying 3 for it here. You're basically like almost guaranteed to trigger it at least once.
If you don't, you're going to lose regardless.
Yeah, you're done anyway. But triggering it once means you got awesome value. Triggering it twice means you got crazy good value. Like, this is an excellent limited card. You should play it in your decks. You will like it.
And I feel like when we play Magic now with Simic, like if you play this in limited, if you're ever Simic, don't even call the card by its name. Call it by its creature type because it's way cooler.
I will attack with my crocodile frog.
Yes.
Ribbit. Crowned Kratok. Ceratok? Is it Ceratok? It has to be Ceratok. Crowned Ceratok.
Just another.
Dude, I want that to be like, my nickname now.
You can be a Crown Ceratok, sir.
Just the Ceratok part.
You just want to be Ceratok?
Ceratok.
Can we call you Evan Ceratok Irwin?
Sounds amazing.
I love it.
That's a cool name. Now, sometimes Wizards makes up names and they're really weird and awkward, but sometimes we have Ceratok. Okay. It's a 4/3 trampler for 4 mana, and it's just like the blue guy. Now, the other sort of Simic bonus creature gives all those guys trample.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
It's a much more powerful creature on its own.
Sure.
Just a 4 power, 4 costing card.
Right.
And when your entire team has trample, that's like really, really cool. Like, it's very difficult to stop lethal attacks when everything's just trample.
And if you have any sort of combat tricks, like, whoo, things get scary with trample. Yeah, because you have Simic Charms or you have any sort of, red power boosting or white power boosting or whatever. Like, there's plenty of tricks in which that's really bad for them.
Yes.
And all of a sudden your Cloudfin Raptor is just trampling over anything they try to chump in front of it. That card is so good. Plus the fact that this has 4 power on 4 mana.
Yes.
And for the Evolve deck, super powerful. Yep. Super important.
You're going to push those like 3 drops that have 3 power or evolving.
Or even like the Crocodile Frog we just talked about. Like getting him up to 4/6 is what this card does. And that's sort of how you should play it. I can imagine there's going to be times in which you'll have this on turn 4, but it's actually better not to play it, but to play out more of your evolved creatures to try to get maximum value out of the evolve, because it just seems.
It's what like all these abilities to me are like they're very unique. Like I think that Return to Ravnica abilities were kind of boring, but they're setting us up for like when
you mix them all together.
Oh, it's gonna be so crazy.
It's going to be sweet. Like, between Populate and Evolve, like, that's going to be sweet. Like, there's plenty of awesome interactions we have coming for Dragon's Maze and the whole block. But Crown Ceratok is amazing and limited. You should absolutely play it every time you're in green, and don't touch Unconstructed. Disciple of the Old Ways. It's a bear that gets first strike. Okay.
And it's the most normal-looking card that we've talked about so far.
He basically is just standard. We're getting into Gruel, right? We're getting into meat and potatoes magic here.
Especially, I just feel like the elf just was staring at the crocodile frog, being like, "I'm not going over to that part of the world."
Just kind of like, really?
What's going on?
What? Not doing. Don't care about the weird claw thing. Not doing this. But as a meat and potatoes card, it's good.
Yeah,
it's a good fine card.
It's a bear with the ability to gain first strike.
Yep.
That's great against the Orzhov deck.
Yep. It's going to trigger all of your evolved creatures that have 1 power. It's going to work really well in the Naya sort of green, red, white, Gruul, Boros action that you guys will have going on. Like it's a fine bear.
Yep.
I like bears with small upsides, and that's one of them. Experiment 1. This card is awesome. Oh man, this card is sweet.
Yeah, I think it's good. I played with it, and it just became a Wild Macattle right away, but I couldn't. My deck couldn't get it bigger than that, which I think was fine.
Okay.
Just a very powerful early drop. I think it's going to see a lot of standard play.
I agree. I think that the idea, I think they probably wanted it to be rare, but maybe they brought it down to uncommon just so people could play with it more, because like it's so good. It's so and the regeneration ability is not to be underestimated. All they have is Terminus essentially once this has 2 counters on it, or it's going to live, and like it's good incremental advantage. It's like you want multiples, of course, and limited. That would just be amazing.
I think it gives like the green white
gives them a good 1-drop.
It gives them another champion of the parish.
They didn't want Avacyn's Pilgrim. They didn't need it. They keep using all their mana every turn. Yeah. They didn't need that acceleration. You don't want Avacyn's Pilgrim in the Silverblade Paladin. Yep. No, you instead you want champion of the parish.
You want your Thalias and your
Mayors, Thalias, and then in the Silverblade Paladin. Let that be your end game, not what you're sort of powering out. And Experiment 1, I mean, with stuff like Loxodon Smiters or whatever, to get it to that sort of high mark, to get it to a 5/5 or whatever, or a 4/4 is just amazing.
Yeah, no, I think, and I was like playing with, I can't remember its name, but it's the green-white sorcery that puts a 3/3 token into play.
Sure. Now I can't remember what it is. But the Watch Wolf spell, essentially.
Yeah.
But sure.
I was playing it with that. I was playing it with like Boar, Flinthoof Boar. I was playing a Naya deck, and it was pretty sweet. It just became three power right away, and it was just a Wild in the Cattle. So I think this card is going to see a lot of play, even though I dismissed it initially.
Sure, and I mean, even as a Wild in the Cattle, you know, then you have the ability to regenerate it. You know, then they sort of start the cycle over again. Like, oh, Supreme Verdict. Well, I keep my experiments.
And it's still just going to attack for 2. Attacking the turn after your opponent wrath you is such a good feeling.
It is very good.
And those games usually end in your favor.
Yeah, pretty much all the time. So that card is excellent in limited and standard. Forced Adaptation is just a better Primal Cocoon.
Yep.
Remember Primal Cocoon? Where you couldn't attack or block and then it would die? And now it's just like, whatever. Just go. Have fun. Who cares? Just keep getting counters every turn.
I mean, yeah.
Card is good. Like, you don't want multiples, I think. But just, you know, as a 23rd or 22nd,
a very good sideboard card against decks that don't have a lot of removal. Like, you get to a game 3 and your opponent, you just didn't see your opponent kill many things, and they're hyper aggressive. You can be like, okay, I'm defensive, sit back on my Forced Adaptation.
Sure. Or if they're defensive in the sort of Orzovian, you know, I have a bunch of 1/4s and I have this 1/3,
and you need to get your guys bigger.
Right, and you slowly but surely they can't deal with it eventually. And this card just keeps giving you advantage. I mean, there was a drawback. There used to be a drawback with Primal Cocoon, and now it's just like, whatever.
To the point where it was unplayable.
Right, basically garbage. And now they're just like, well, okay, let's go the complete opposite spectrum where it's just like really great.
It's just all upside.
All upside.
Except for the art, because that guy's weird.
That's a really
He's got
weird,
a strut.
You know, he's got a little of that Thriller going on.
Yeah.
Just like dun, 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 dun. So I like that, but yeah, ultimately not super exciting and limited, but you're still probably going to play it, and against lower decks should be great.
Oh yeah.
No constructed. Giant Ataphage.
I hate spiders, and I hate when more come. So like, I don't like this card at all.
It's good.
I mean, it's good and limited.
On the limited and the table, on the kitchen table, it's great. It's fine.
I don't like big scary spiders. I
saw Arachnophobia. It's scary.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, just as a 7-mana 7/7 with trample, like in limited, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's not just say it's good. It's freaking ridiculous.
Because when it attacks, it deals damage.
Which it basically always is.
You get to block with the 7/7 again, and just.
And then you have 2 7/7s with trample that make copies of
and then
themselves.
you attack and you deal 14, and you get 2 more, and then you attack and you deal 28. And I don't know why your opponent's still alive.
They're way dead. They're super dead. No constructed applications. Greenside Watcher, 2-mana 2/1 that untaps them gates.
This card's so cool.
This card's sweet. It
I
just
like
does work.
It's damage source in the early game if you need it to be because it has 2 power, but you get to, you know, accelerate through a gate, and that just seems really sweet to me.
It's on your curve. You're probably not going to be able to use its ability immediately, but that means late game you are, and you're going to power out your bombs that way.
Yeah, and because it's a gate, you get this weird pseudo like mana fixing too.
Right.
Like you can like double splash in your evolve deck, and you can like have your, you know, your blue-red or some kind of off-color guild land that can tap for both lands in the same turn. So I think that's like really cool.
I think this card is sweet. It's got a lot of value. It's very subtly powerful, essentially.
Yeah, it's going to be very good and limited.
Very good. So Gyre Sage is next. This card was previewed by Flores. Is it any good? Can somebody please tell me if this card is good?
I don't know either. I like sat at home the night that it came out, put it in a deck list because I was like, I don't know. So I'm like writing down deck lists, and I'm like, I don't know if it's good enough because
I don't know.
Like, what do you do with all the mana that you get? And you don't just want to play more guys, and there's no Regal Force in Standard.
I mean, Prime Time's there. I mean, Sphinx's Revelation's there. I mean, how far down sort of the ridiculous hole do you go? Do you go like increasing savagery so I can make 5 mana? Like, and then what are you going to do?
Just make bigger guys to get his evolve to trigger? I don't.
Right. I mean, like, where is this going? I don't even know. I want to know. I feel like they gave it to Flores because it's powerful. You know, they gave it to Flores because they feel that Flores' previews go to tournament play. And there's been very few times when Flores' previews haven't. The first one that always pops to mind for me is Scourglass. Scourglass was from Shards and was supposed to be sort of a player, but was just too slow.
I don't even remember Scourglass.
Exactly. So it was it was sort of like an Oblivion Stone-esque effect, and it was just too slow. And so this card just feels like you're going to play it on turn 2, and then you're going to play something on turn 3 to trigger its evolve.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to play at that point that's going to give you enough value, or is going to trigger its evolve again? Probably not.
Yeah.
So where you at? You know what I mean? Like,
and the only
what
place,
happens?
And it's so weird because it's an elf that makes mana, and you have Elvish Archsteward, and you have like mana acceleration that's elf, but you don't really want to play like 1-drop elf mana acceleration with a guy like this. Like, he doesn't
I'm
trigger.
sure we're missing something. I'm sure a couple months down the road, Gyre Sage is going to be some awesome deck, and it's going to be like, have you looked at the review and seen how they had no idea what was going on? I'm just saying. I've looked at this card for like 2 weeks now, and I'm like,
I don't exactly know.
I just don't know.
It probably has to have something to do with prime time. It's just a
Probably.
good way to trigger it.
Yeah, just a good old way to.
It's good and limited when you have biomass.
It's a fine card and limited. It's not a bomb, but it's probably going to do good work.
Yeah.
It's going to do good work for you there. And constructed, I have no idea. Someone's going to put it together.
Yeah.
Hindervines. Da-da-da-da. Hindervines. Okay. With no +1/+1 counters on. That's actually insane.
Well, yeah, it's like an amazing fog. I love the new fogs these days because they're always upside ones.
Yeah, fog populate.
Yeah.
Fog, but just, for your guys, and then my guys with +1/+1 counters.
Or except for
wreck
this
your
one
guys.
creature for some reason, Terrifying Presence. Like, yeah, I love it. I think this one is like so good, so unbelievable.
This is the blowouts.
This is the trick, yeah. Like, these high-powered tricks are what you need for the creature-based decks, like where you want to run a ton of creatures. So
this one just, God, it just rewards you in all the right ways.
yes,
It tells you which way to go in your deck. Get the evolved creatures. It tells you what to do. Take advantage of a weird attack from them or a bad attack from them.
Yep.
What they don't think is a bad attack, and then you just whatever.
Or you
double
just attack
triple
into
block.
them, yeah.
Right. You attack into them, or you just double triple block whatever is ridiculous, and then just Hindervines and blow them out. Just terrific card and limited. No constructed.
is it the first uncommon fog?
I don't know.
No,
I
probably
don't think
not.
so. But Ivy Lane Denizen is an interesting name. Ivy Lane.
I mean, I'm just glad it's not when it's the second green creature to come into play.
Thanks, Wizards. But okay, you get to put +1/+1 counters on creatures. This card's good. This card's really good in Simic.
Yep.
Like, you're playing all the multicolor Simic cards. It's sweet. Like, okay, that seems great.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Playing the Gruul cards, getting +1/+1 counters in the
what was
aggressive
it?
deck.
Timberwatch something?
Timberwatch Elf.
Was that it? The 1/1 for 2 that when it came to play put a +1/+1 counter on something? Like,
No, I think it was a different card. But
yeah, but
regardless,
it was a really amazing creature. It was just a bear that gave up half of its power to somewhere else if it wanted to.
Sure.
And putting that on another creature is just going to be very, very good.
right. Basically, like I feel like this might have started out as a 2/2, or it might have been a 2/2 at some point in time, and they kind of pumped its toughness a little bit, because as a 4-mana 2/3, that's good stats.
Yeah.
Like, that's solid good stats. Or a good creature that you play on turn 4 and pass, and you're not going to be afraid that it's just going to get run over. You're not going to be able to block with it with a higher toughness of that regard. You can block with him, untap, play a green creature, put a counter on him. He's a 3/4, counter on something else. Like, start working the evolve triggers and yada yada. Like, this card is value.
Yes, and it's sweet art.
Good and limited, great art, all good around. Miming Slime, I like this card.
This
card is weird.
It's cool because it'll trigger all your evolves except for the biggest creature all the time for a cheap amount of mana, but it's not like a curve spell, and I never like cards that you can't curve with.
Well, okay, but like,
I
like cards that give me like lots and lots of like, scary guys that get all my guys triggering and do what I want to do, man.
And a clone of your dragon. It's just
Right.
like, I mean, I picture it with the art. It'll just be a dragon with no eyes. Just like chilling.
Just around, like hanging out, killing things, like
wishing it could fly, doesn't understand how it can't.
right. Like, what's happening here? I'm oozy. This is weird. Like, it's fine. I'm saying, like, this is a card that, while it doesn't go on the curve, if you thought of it more as like a 6-drop that has some sort of cost reduction mechanic on it.
And when you want to play
great.
the fog plus this guy, just to trigger and get all of it.
All the value. This card's good though. In limited, this card's very good.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
I like it. Naturalize. Hey, baby. Ain't seen you in a while.
Oh my God.
That's amazing art.
I haven't seen the art yet. Yeah, I love it.
I'll be honest. I'm kind of surprised too here. This art is actually terrific.
Yes. That's so cool.
I'm gonna call it the best naturalized art. Calling it.
You're gonna say an absolute on the internet?
Saying it.
Evan,
An absolute.
do you know what you're doing?
In Magic the Gathering on the internet. I'm saying it.
Do you know what you've just done?
I know. Art is amazing.
Yeah, it's very
Art is terrific. Sorry. The Naturalized just as a card is, this is bread and butter. This is meat and potatoes. This is your core Magic card. This is a card I want to exist forever.
And I do this with a card like Naturalized, like, sure, whatever, we'll see it again later. And then once a year I play it in a constructed deck. I just like have one copy in my sideboard.
Well, because sometimes you need that effect. I love it. Disenchant was in white for years and years and years, then it went to green, and it's been naturalized for years and years and years. It doesn't matter. I love it. This is the best art I've ever seen on Naturalized.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
This is absolutely terrific. So, but ultimately, constructed always a role player.
Yep.
In limited, it depends on what they have.
In this format, the artifact removal and the enchantment removal is not that great. Enchantment removal is good. Artifact removal is not great.
And you kind of need it, though. Like, you need a lot of that enchantment removal because, as we were saying earlier, a lot of the enchantments are just pushed.
Yep.
They made them really, really good. So, Naturalized is rarely a dead card. And a lot of times, you'll main deck it in Sealed because you just don't know what dumb enchantment, maybe it's a rare artifact or maybe it's a rare enchantment that just takes over the game. I've done that before where I'm like, I got nothing.
I've never been happy to, but it is an option.
It is an option. Either way, great card. Ooze Flux. This card is sweet. I swear to God, this looks like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Is it just me? It's like the ooze is coming to get him, and he's going to be like fighting Shredder. It's going to be great. But like, this card is ridiculous in an evolved deck.
Well, it's so insane because like let's say you have like 3 creatures with evolve and they all have 1/1, right?
This card's a little scary.
It is because if they're all less than 3 power, 2 mana 3/3s. You just turn out 3/3s for 2 mana.
Just
remove all 3, make a 3/3. Yeah,
like you just keep going.
Yeah, it's very. It just ends games almost immediately. This is the first like make token green card that's so scary. Like I think this card's very good. If you open this, try to play it because it's so powerful.
I mean, I want to go Cloudfin Raptor into Experiment 1, into something, into Ooze Flux.
I just want to go 2 or 3 evolve creatures into this card. Doesn't really matter. You just make a million 3/3s and
because I mean, this card is a train that like once it starts going, you're done. You have to stop it now. You have to wrath all the things immediately. Yeah. Or this card just turns.
But it's not even an American train. It's a bullet train from Japan. Like once it starts, it's done, man. The game is over.
Really fast. In limited. Oh my God. Thankfully, it's just a rare, so you can get more of it. You know.
Yeah.
You have a better chance of getting one because man, this card in Sealed is the nut.
Yeah.
Predator's Rapport. Okay, you ever had a rapport with a predator before?
No, and I've never liked this ability either.
Yeah, no rapport, you for sure?
No.
Okay.
What? What are you saying?
No more rapport, for sure? Sorry, I'm just going to keep going. A little Dr. Seuss action going here. But, okay. Equal to its power plus its toughness. All right, so this is a life gain card. Life gain cards have to be insanely pushed to be decent. And by pushed, I mean gain you lots of life. And by gain you lots of life,
double digits.
I mean, like, probably more than this card's going to give you.
Yes.
This card's not good. It's okay, because bad cards need to exist, so other cards look better, and this is one of those. Now, I will say, Matt Stewart, you did a great job.
Oh, yeah, the art's amazing.
Art is absolutely terrific, and sometimes even the worst cards have the best art. Rust Scarab. All right. 5 mana, 4/5. Okay.
It's unique.
It's unique.
It's like, I don't get when you're on the defensive, you get to kill their artifact. Like, what about this card is killing the artifact?
Well, I mean, it's when you block. It's when it becomes blocked. So it's when you're attacking.
Oh, it's when it comes. I thought it says when it get blocked.
Right. So when it's attacking and they block it, it's still going to get something of theirs, which is fine. I think the most important thing this card does is for 5 mana, it has 4 power, and it's going to trigger all your evolve guys.
And it is a very big beetle.
Big old beetle. Rawr. It's bigger than Ringo. So Scab Clan Charger is up next. It's a 4 mana 2/4. It's got that like spidery grasp feeling on the Blood Rush.
Yeah, it's one of the weaker Blood Rush cards. I think it's It's more of a defensive one, if I can call
Which
it
means
that.
it's amazing as all the rest of them are. It's just not quite as amazing.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
whatever.
No, I mean, it is good. Like a 2/4 body is good, especially if you have a bunch of Blood Rush in a deck.
Right.
As well as this is going to pump and the creature's never going to die. And because a lot of the Blood Rush is like high power, low toughness, this card evens them out when something like a 5/5 blocks in front of like a 3/4 or 3/2 or something.
Sure. It's the right numbers, I think, to give you an interesting limited experience.
Well,
in terms of how Blood
it's the
Rush
right
works.
numbers to make your opponent feel miserable not knowing ever what Blood Rush spell you have.
Yep, it's really good at making your opponent feel terrible. So, yay! Terrific limited card. You should most likely be playing this. I don't know why you wouldn't, because, there's just upside
Because
versus
you're
upside.
playing Dimir.
Because you're not playing green. Play if you're in green. Serene Remembrance. This is a cute card.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
I
Gaia's Blessing without the card draw.
It would be really sweet if it had the if instead of this way it's worded, it had the Emrakul ability.
Oh, if it were ever put into a graveyard.
It just shuffles back in.
Yeah.
Or not Emrakul, more Progenitus or something.
Oh, if this card in particular
just this card
is ever put into a graveyard.
So then they can't mill it because I for one am sick of the Drownyard mirrors. I'm not even involved in any of them, but like because control decks can't actually beat a player.
I'm not involved in them. I just don't like that they happen.
I feel
don't
bad
like
for the
this-
players that play just like, all right, we're just in Drownyard mirrors again. I played a GP like that. It was miserable. And
good
I
old
wish there was
Drownyards.
just a card that could just staple that through, like push it through and it's done. You can't actually Drownyard me
Well,
out.
I hate to tell you, buddy, this ain't it.
This is not it.
This is not the answer that's going to stop that. It's a really cute card in the sort of throwback way, to Gaia's Blessing and what have you. But it's just not a great card.
No.
Don't play it.
Because Gaia's Blessing drew you a card. That's what made it awesome.
Yeah, that is really what it made it awesome. And don't play this. Skarg Goliath.
The biggest of all of the Blood Rush.
Woo! That's big, and it gains trample. So this card is not a creature. This card is just a pump spell. If you're playing it in limited, just so we're clear.
It can be a creature.
Yeah, it can be.
But
It's a great creature.
It should end the game once it gets cast. So.
It should kill. Well, yeah, if you're
Or once it's
casting
channeled,
it,
yeah.
once you blood rush it, they should be dead. If not, it's a great top deck in late game sealed. You've traded to death. You have a bajillion mana. You're like, oh, this thing you're never going to deal with. Like, wow. So it's a fine card.
Do you remember when cards with these stats had you had to pay like G during your upkeep?
And then +1G if you wanted to attack with it or whatever. Yeah, sure.
And you had to control 2 forests, and they had to control no
tap,
forests.
untap forests and all this crap, or your forest on untap. Like, yeah, the creature bettering is a terrific thing to
unbelievable.
watch.
Yeah.
It's really cool because like creatures just get better and better. I get excited about creatures. I have a good time with it. They like pumping. They like making these cards awesome. You have to have cards where sometimes the players who aren't the best in the room have the tools to win against the best, and this is one of those cards.
And my favorite thing about this card,
Oops, I win cards.
These are the sell cards where you think you're in a game. Like you think you're playing Magic with your opponent. You're like, all right, I can block here and here. And he's just sitting there waiting. And you're like, all right, but here's blocks. And he's like, what are you on? I'm like, 3. And he's like, okay, +9/+9 and trample. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, in that case,
That
I thought
was
we were
way
actual
closer than I thought.
strategery happening. It's
Yeah.
not actual anything happening except I'm losing.
It's way over the top.
Slaughterhorn is sweet. It's like Briarhorn, smaller, yet still angry.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this artwork.
Yeah.
The artwork with the arc, the
Yeah.
blood arc, and the guy and his head is just
flying,
amazing.
yeah.
Super cool. The Blood Rush itself, they didn't want to make it better than Giant Growth. They made it very, very close. It's an excellent, this is just awesome card in green. You're playing green, play this card.
This is the card that you're going to just like, yep, I'll take another Slaughterhorn, take another Slaughterhorn. Like, you'll take everyone that comes by.
Yes, it's just value. I'm okay playing it for 3 mana. I'm fantastic giving it +3/+2.
Especially because a 3/2 usually isn't good enough, but you have other Blood Rush spells. Your deck is just filled with them, and you can Slaughterhorn your Slaughterhorn.
Right, and there's also the fact that because it's 3 power for 3 mana, like that's important for evolved creatures. That's important for your 1-drop, 2-drop evolved creatures to actually get there later on. Like, does all good things. Love it, love it, love it. Spire Tracer, okay. Sort of a Ledgewalker 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, they're decent cards. I'm just glad that you can target it.
I'm glad you can target it because literally, Ledgewalker was a deck. You know, there were Ledgewalker decks that just
It's
sort of like
called
the Hexproof.
It's called modern.
the slippery bogle goodness. Nice mechanic, Wizards. Hexproof.
Thank you.
It's great. This guy probably not going to get there in your limited deck. You're not. If you're playing this, your deck's probably in some serious
Or it's
danger.
just mono combo Blood Rush.
Or, I mean, like, if you need it for the curve, like, that's the way that you sort of always get out these cards, right? The 1-mana 1/1s, you always say, well, if you need it for your curve,
Well,
you can get there.
I have a rule in limited that the only 1-drops you play have like really good abilities attached to them, like tap a creature or
Cloudfin Raptor.
Yeah, or like the Initiates. Experiment 1, yeah. Like, they have to have very good abilities.
Yep.
Evolve is an ability because it makes it bigger. A 1/1 for 1 gets trumped next turn. Every 2-drop in the format will be better than your 1-drop like this.
More or less, yeah. And sort of like what you can hope for at best at that point is that your 1-drop trades with their 2-drop.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So a lot of people, like, I just want to say that because I have a difference on curve. Like, I don't like people thinking that curve starts on 1 in limited because it rarely starts on 1 in limited.
So, Sylvan Primordial. I miss Sylvan Library. Wizards reprint it. Sylvan Primordial is a 6/8 for 7 mana with reach. What?
Well,
what?
Look how big he is. He can grab. Just like the cat can grab the bird, he can grab. Just right out the sky.
I like your flavor explanations. That's adorable. So, you get to destroy non-creature permanents. So, you get that Woodfall Primus-esque ability.
Yeah.
And for every permanent, you get forests. You know, you get to rampant growth. Okay.
Because we need more mana.
Yeah.
So we can hardcast our Blood Rush 9/9.
Yeah, you're going to play it in limited because it's a fatty. Because it does things. It's probably going to destroy some stupid enchantment or some dumb artifact that is wrecking your face.
It's going to trigger Evolve, and you Urban Evolution into it.
Yep. And that's terrific, and that's going to be awesome. So it's good and sealed in that regard. In draft, it might be too slow as a 7-drop. It's just really expensive.
Yeah.
It's in aggro colors when you don't want a 7-drop in aggro. You know.
Sometimes you do. I really do find that a lot of like my green decks, like you just want one big fatty.
Wow, it's 7 though.
I've cast a lot of 8/8 Vigilances in Return to Ravnica. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I've cast some Axebane Guardians. I'm not gonna lie. So all right, well, it's a good guy, good man. Tower Defense. I love Tower Defense games. You ever play Kingdom Rush? It's amazing. Oh my god. Field Runners.
I could never get into the games that once I died, I just restarted. I didn't get to keep playing. I'm an RPG guy.
Get out of here.
I'm an RPG guy.
Get out of here.
If I die, I save somewhere.
You know what we're trying to say here? It's not a good card. That's what we're trying to say here. It's more interesting to talk about a game called Tower Defense and what that means than it is to explain a card called Tower Defense for Magic. This is super cute.
Oh, yeah, and they forgot to put another archer over here. They're going to be really bad on that corner.
They did not upgrade their archer on the last one over here, so the next wave is just going to totally bowl them
over.
Yeah,
they've screwed up.
Don't play it.
They should reinforce.
Bad. Verdant Haven. Woo. You're gaining 2 life. You're not drawing a card. You know, that's what sort of pushes the abundant growth sort of factor. I don't care about gaining life. I just want to draw cards. If this thing said draw a card instead of gain 2 life, it would actually, I think, be very good.
I mean, yeah, it's a little slow.
It's a little slow, but it would fix your mana.
Yep.
It would help you work with other guilds, yada, yada, yada. And it still does in that regard, but it's a little underwhelming.
Yeah,
it doesn't accelerate
you. never want to invest mana into...
Or no, it's not true. It does accelerate you 1.
Oh, no, it does accelerate you, yeah.
Which is nice.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it is nice that it is a kind of a pseudo-rampant growth. But it does cost an extra mana. We've already found that 2 mana is the most we want to pay for this effect.
And 2 life is cute. Yeah. It's cute. It sort of goes in that Enchantland cycle. There's a 10-card Enchantland cycle. The Underworld Connections is in there. Chronic Flooding is in there. This is in there. 10 Street Market's in there. Yada, yada. So it's fine. It sort of harkens back to the days when green always got kind of the crappiest of the cycle. The Jugan effect, as I will say.
The like... bear enchantment that gives defender and can't block more than 1 creature.
Rare, and the white one's like +5/+5 and Angel Vigilance, Lifelink, whatever. Wasteland Viper. I like this card. This card is sweet.
It gives Death Touch, and you don't even have to like trade your creature off sometimes because of the +2.
Yup.
And it on its own, when you don't have anything else to do, it's just a Death Touch creature in play.
Oh, it's so good.
No
one wants to block it. Excellent trick. Should basically always make your limited decks if you're in green. This
Oh,
card's
all
awesome.
yes. Play this every single. This card's so good.
Going to trade with everything in all the best ways. Wildwood Rebirth. Okay, it's Raised Dead.
I mean, and it's
2 mana.
instant, so it's Blood Rush. Blood Rush,
Ah.
Wild Rebirth, Blood Rush.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
it's so good.
Yes. Please. This card. Wow.
Yeah, it's very good.
When you think it's just a Raised Dead, no. No.
This is a pump spell.
Woo! This card does some work, son.
Yes.
Oh, this sort of gives you the freedom of using the Blood Rush stuff early, you know, not for maximum value, and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, hold on a second, I'm going to Rebirth, and you kind of flail out your Blood Rush cards. You kind of look at where they're blocking, and you're like, how do I wreck you the best?
Do you actually pull all the moves?
Oh yes, I'm gonna flail them out.
Wait,
I'm gonna talk about them.
And then you
like,
set your hand down and you like wait because you have a little smudge on one of your sleeves and you get that off. You're like, oh, it's okay.
Yep. You're like, I could do that. No.
You call a
I'll do
judge
that.
over. He comes over. You look at him. He's like, how's your day going, Judge? Are you having a good day?
Your opponent's just like writhing in agony. Oh, that card's awesome. But Borgamos enraged. He's mad.
He's very mad, and I'm mad with him because I love Unburial Rights decks, and I can't figure out how to make them work.
Well, in Unburial Rights decks, a lot of times, and I sort of explained this in the show if you'd seen it, they ramp. They ramp a lot, and they get a ton of mana, and sometimes they have like a bunch of mana in their hand or whatever. They play Seek the Horizons or whatever, where you go find 3 lands and put them in your hand.
Oh, who plays that?
That in the Thragdor Worldfire thing. And
Does it?
I've seen it.
Wow.
And so you can end up with a lot of lands in your
Yeah.
hand. So that's not completely unheard of. The thing is that they just costed it to death, and I want to play with Borgamos and Constructed. I think A, that's a really cool name. B, it's the friggin' Gruul leader guy. Make him awesome. Just make him Titan stats. Make that a 2, just like Prime Time, and let him be sweet. He doesn't have to deal 3 damage for the lands. Let him deal 2. I don't care. I want this guy to be good because I want Gruul to have an upside on the
I
top
wanted him
end.
to have haste. If he had haste, he would be good in Reanimate because you get that 3-card advantage, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes to the graveyard for the mill strategies. I really, really did want him to just have haste and trample, and then he would just have been like an all-star. We'd have him in all the Reanimator strategies.
And even back in Legacy, Goryo's Vengeance is not enough to make this card good.
No.
It's just not enough. And I think it's going to be super cool in commander decks. I think this is a cool commander if you're going for the super red-green ramp strategy.
And you have Life from the Loam and things like that.
Yeah, you can work. All I'm saying is I didn't want this to be a kitchen table card. I really wanted this to be a constructed playable card in some form or fashion, even if it's just a role player, even if it's just a one-of. Man, I like Borgamos. I think that card was sweet. I was really excited to see a really powerful version. And he is powerful in his own way, just not in the way that I was hoping for. That's unfortunate. In limited, 8 mana is a lot.
And his stats aren't that great for 8 mana because the thing is he has an ability, but not when it costs 8 mana. The ability's gone now.
You're going to be this has to be the last card in your hand when you're playing it in draft or seal. It's by default. For God's sake, it's 8 mana. Even with Gyre Sage, it's just going to be the last card in your hand. You have to play every land ever to get it out. And then it does nothing.
You have to play almost half the lands that are in your limited deck to get him out. That's always a sign that you shouldn't be playing a card.
Yeah. It's just, I wanted it to be so good. Clan Defiance. Now, this card is awesome. Woo! Talk about the other end of the spectrum.
So I start reading this card, and I was like, deal X to a creature non-flying. Okay. Deal damage to a creature with flying. Why is this rare? And then I get to deal to a player.
What? And then, I was like, oh, it's fine. It's this. It's super modal spell. And then my buddy's like, no. Choose 1 or more.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Kill your flyer, kill your ground pounder, kill you.
Da-da-da!
In that order, because I want to see them go to the graveyard.
Done. This card gets it done. This card is sweet. I love this card.
And then
it's not Bonfire.
You should have said this at the pre-release for all you guys that played Clan Defiance. You should have been like, that's for not being Gruel.
card is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's sweet. It's no bonfire, but it's very, very good. And
That's no bonfire.
well, I mean, what is, but regardless, like Clan Defiance is sweet, will do work, could see constructed play, does good things.
Yeah, no, this card's very good and an absolute bomb limit. I just want one so bad.
Oh, God, it's a huge bomb unlimited. Congratulations if you open one. I hope you had fun with it. Yeah. Next up is Dome Rod. Now, the third 3-mana Planeswalker ever made, the second green-red Planeswalker ever made. How good?
I think it's going to be good. We need to find the home. Damirati's a little homeless right now on the corner begging for change.
He's not homeless. He just needs dudes. You just throw in. It's just going to be the Domery decks. There's going to be dudes and 4 Domery Rod and creatures are now spells now.
You lack an imagination, man.
Whoa.
Like Nightshade Peddler and Is It Satacaster seem like just perfect for this guy.
Yes, because you need more things to make that combo good.
Well, if you're if you have to play this many like creatures to trigger him, you might as well have him have abilities.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, every creature in Magic right now has awesome abilities.
Or they're just huge.
Or they're just ridiculous, or you can't target them. Like, Geist is obviously good against this.
Yeah.
+1, feel bad.
Geist is good with this. You have all the dual lands now.
Just run everything. Just 4-color guy duder things.
Fight with the angel. I don't know how. Make it happen.
Make it happen. Well, if you, like, rootborn defenses in the middle of combat, then you keep it. You got to get creative because Planeswalkers, like, R&D has figured out a way, I think, to make Planeswalkers that are not overpowered. And Dome Rod is a good example of them making them look good.
Yeah.
But they're not overpowered. Whereas Gideon 2.0 doesn't really look good until it just plays bad.
I love how this card, you don't really know what its +1's going to do. It might not do anything. So it's the first Planeswalker ever that I don't really know if I'm always going to know if I want to either attack it or not. Because the damage hitting them might be important before they get their Thundermaws online.
Yeah.
But some Planeswalkers I just get to ignore and I lull that they're playing them. Like,
I mean, I think the echelon of 3-mana Planeswalkers is Jace Beleren. Like,
well, yeah.
Beleren is so good, and like you always wanted to kill Beleren immediately. I don't feel that way about Domery, but there are going to, of course, going to be situations. Of course, if you're like creature deck versus a Domery deck, you're going to want to kill that guy immediately because his second ability is just going to take over the board completely, and that's awesome. His ultimate, however, is Timio-esque. It's not an auto win the game like some of the others have been in the past.
Have you ever given your creatures haste, double strike, trample, and hexproof?
Well, there was that one time.
There was that one time in college. But no, this is like that ability is amazing. I don't know if you've ever put that many abilities on just creatures you're about to cast, but turning your Hutmasters into that, Thragtusk into that, like Thragtusk into a trampling double strike creature.
I mean, let alone what is currently on the board. So like, I see the goodness. I understand that there are good things. All I'm saying is there's going to be situations, there's going to be bad beat stories where the guy ultimated Domery and lost anyway.
I do not believe that.
Come on.
You can't,
people lose with Tamio.
You can only ultimate him against control, and control can't do anything to those abilities.
Hexproof is yeah.
Yeah.
You mess with him, they'll have a glaring spotlight though.
Oh, now glaring spotlight's in your list. Not against the actual guys.
Yes, we'll get to it. But ultimately, I think it's going to be sweet. I think it is going to be played in the metagame. It's absolutely terrific and limited. Always play it if you're anywhere near Gruel. And of course, in Constructed, it's going to sort of be its own deck. I think and that's what I think they want these guys to be.
I agree. I think it's going to be, and it hits everyone. It's fun, it's spiky, it does pretty much everything. So I'm going to be looking into it, not right away, because I've got something sweet for Atlanta.
Yeah.
I got something sweet.
You got something good, but at the same time, I think even in Atlanta, there are going to be decks where it's just like creatures and 4 Domery.
And I will beat them very easily.
Good luck.
I don't need it because I'm Brad Nelson.
This card is awesome. Let's keep moving.
Yes.
Now, Frenzied Tillion is back. It has returned. It's still 5 mana. It's still not that powerful.
I mean, the only cool thing that it does now is it kills off all the utility lands because there's a utility land in each color combination.
There's a lot, I agree with that, and that's nice. You know, the destroying lands is just dangerous. You know, I recognize that it's a cool thing. You know, but I played back in the day when destroying lands was possible in turn 2, and it was absolutely miserable.
I played the Magnivore blue, like the bouncer land.
The Annex deck.
Yeah. Ooh, the Annex deck was sweet.
God, the Annex Wildfire deck. Ugh. Like I would, I would Stone Rain, then I would Stone Rain, then I would Annex, then I would Annex, then I would Wildfire.
And that's the Magic that you got to play.
Da 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 da. Standard. It was completely terrible.
It was a really bad
It was
format.
absolutely miserable. This card will not make our format into that, and that's fine.
No, but it is beautiful art.
It's super awesome.
Can
Noah Bradley.
Can we talk to Noah Bradley and can we get all of his lithographs so I can have this one?
Because he's amazing.
Yeah.
Noah does really good work.
Yeah, this
Noah
is beautiful.
sweet. I love Noah. He's great. All right, here we go.
This is the finally here.
Best Gruul card.
This is around the office. I mean, everyone's even getting sick of it. I keep just building Gore Clan Rampager decks. I'm like, I want to use them with Nighthawk, and I want to use them with Double Strike.
Yeah.
I just have like Jund decks and Naya decks, and even some Rug decks with this guy. I just love him so much.
Trample. Oh my God. Silverblade Paladin says what's up. Like, it's Naya decks that go, Pilgrim into Silverblade Paladin. That's actually good because this card exists. Like, it's not just silly and weird to have them pair up with a 1/1. It's like, okay, 10.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
But
just
it's even that
amazing.
It's like, the format's going to be so aggressive that even just like pumping a Nighthawk and just getting some damage in is going to be really good, especially if you're a hyper aggressive deck.
Sure.
Or the coolest thing I love about this is if you've ever been a Huntmaster player, you know that pain that if you want to flip your Huntmaster, you can't do anything with your turn. Yeah. You can't even attack with the Huntmaster. But now you get to just swing with it, and they're just like, block, and you're like, +4/+4, go, kill that guy off.
Yay! And then, like, there's going to be the times where you have 2 of this guy. It's going to be so amazing. I mean,
Or he's paired with a Boros Charm.
Oh, I just need it.
And the worst case scenario, he's a Loxodon Smiter for 1 more mana. That's the worst.
But it has trample.
But it has trample.
Smiter doesn't have trample.
No.
Like, oh God, this card was pushed in all the right ways.
Yes, it's like my favorite card from the set. I love it.
I'm so glad they didn't make it rare, honestly, just so it wouldn't be so expensive. Because like this is going to be an automatic 4 of
in so many different decks.
Yes, it's just so good.
He's spawning archetypes in my playtest videos.
Oh, so good, so good.
Yeah,
so good.
I love this card. Oh, but I
love
don't think it's limited playable.
Yeah, don't.
Just don't touch it.
Look, when you're at drafts and I'm next to you, just pass them to me.
Yeah.
I'll take care of it. You know what? I'll
take
follow
the
the
hit.
sword. You know what I mean? I'll take one for the team. I'll take all the rampagers. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He does it for you because he cares. Literally tapping the cards that you should have had.
This game. All right. Ground Assault. That's a cool card.
Yeah.
I like that card.
It's fun and interesting. I don't really know where it goes. I think like if there's a ramp strategy in Standard, this is a way to kill Planeswalkers for a deck that normally can't kill Planeswalkers, but
Only
it still
deals
doesn't
with
seem
creatures,
good.
buddy.
Okay, never mind. It doesn't kill Planeswalker. Okay, this card's real bad.
It's limited. It's a limited card. It's basically an interesting way to deal damage to creatures, and Wizards sometimes runs out of ways to do that. Like just can't do it otherwise. So okay, Gruul Charm is next. The weirdest charm.
Yeah.
Easily. What the hell? The second ability scares me to death, okay? Literally scares me to death. Why? Because why does that ability need to be on there? Like, is there something that is so powerful in terms of taking control of your stuff that card needs to exist?
No, it's because...
Or that ability needs to be on there?
Even if, like, gaining control of things is, like, a fringe ability.
Yeah.
Like, I like that it exists just to, like, deal with... just what is already out there. People love answering problems.
Oh, I do.
Doesn't
Trust
really
me, I
matter.
do too. What I'm saying is like, man, are you telling me that like the environment can have so many game control effects that you need to have brand on a charm in order for it to matter? So part of me goes like, maybe they just picked it sort of because it's an interesting ability that falls into both camps in some fashion. You know, like there's the what was the lizard in Cold Snap, the 4-mana 4/4 that you would take control of your permanents at the end of every turn. So that's fine. It's just, you know, and of course Brand is a spell that did that, and it's okay. Like ultimately, its other abilities are great. Its other abilities
very
do
good.
lots of good things.
I mean, letting your whole team be unblockable against flyers or killing all their flyers, like just having both options. It's unique to be like, those can't block, but those are dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's the falter that you want when you're attacking in, and it wipes away all the stupid tokens, I think, when you battle against those decks. And, you know,
and it's
if
on a
Soul
it's
Ransom
on
is
a
ever
hammer.
a thing, I heard your eyes roll, okay? It's not cool. I heard it. That was not cool, okay? If it's ever a thing, I like that this answers it. If it's probably never going to be a thing, I don't care.
I mean, the flavor text is by far the best.
That's right. Not Gruul.
Then die. Because I'm a Brigamos, and I can't actually have any impact on a game of Magic.
This is good and limited, though. If you're an aggressive deck, this is good.
Yep.
This is excellent. Gruul Rage Beast. Rawr. Rawr.
I love this card.
This card is in
It's
sealed.
fun.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Because it comes in and kills something, but then the rest of the game, anything on top, you get a kill. And you can just swing games back into your favor. And you get to say fight. And when you get to say fight, I have fun.
Oh.
And because of him, he can literally be like,
round
three.
Yes. Fight. Love it. That's amazing. So every time you play something, round 2, round 3, round 4,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. So this card in sealed is a super huge bomb. In draft, you should get there.
Yeah.
You should definitely get there. This will be the absolute top of your curve. But man, it's a heck of a 7-drop. This card is what I called out on Twitter the worst design in Gatecrash. Why? I swear it looks like it was designed by an MTG card generator. It doesn't even make sense.
This exists?
I get that there's Greta Aura Mage or Auramancer or whatever it is. I understand that there are auras. There's cards that search out auras and attach it to creatures and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The Aura Mage or whatever. But all I'm saying is, like, I don't get it. I don't even understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I understand that, like, you're going to have it in your hand and you're going to draw a 2-drop late in the game and you're going to be like, do the thing and that's cool. But it's fine. Part of it is that bad cards need to exist, okay? The other half of it is it has this weird fringe thing when you're looking for an aura that will give you haste in these colors, blah, 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 blah. Like, I get that. But, my God.
Rebuttal.
Rebuttal.
Two-headed giant.
Two-headed giant.
That seems sweet in Two-headed giant.
That seems really good in Two-headed giant. No one said that. Of all the people who argued with me on Twitter, no one, this guy. Good gosh. It's cool in that regard. So, but it's just +3/+3.
Yeah, no, it's not that great.
It's overcosted. It reads really strangely.
So if your teammate plays a guy and then plays a Cypher spell and Cyphers on it, and then you Primal Visitation.
And then,
you get an effect.
Give the mouse a cookie. Eventually it'll have a Primal Visitation and kill you.
Yeah.
Whatever. Not really good in anything. Rubble Hulk, the first Blood Rush card spoiled.
This is the general. This is the general everyone died to this last weekend.
Yep, they probably died to it a lot. You know, that's so when good. You go. Like, the thing against Gruul, it's always the scariest is when they attack and then they go, wait, what's your life total? And you go, oh, man. And then you, like, count their lands and you're like, oh, God.
You have to do it with every opponent at the pre-release.
Everyone that's
every
Gruul,
single opponent.
you have to because you know they have one of these in their deck. Yeah. And you're like, oh, my God, what am I going to do with this card? And sometimes, you can play around it to an extent, but sometimes you just can't.
No.
Sometimes
you have to have as many blockers as they have attackers.
Right.
It's the only way you can play around
Minus your life total versus their lanes. I mean, like,
And it's still 6/6 for 6.
Yes. Yes. It's still terrific, amazing value.
Yeah, it's a very good card.
Yeah. Just love it, love it, love it. No constructed application.
No.
But super awesomely awesome and limited. Ruination Worm. Son.
When you want to evolve past the highest evolution.
Dude, I played with Crawl Worm, guys, for real. That was a 6-mana 6/4, and we were all kinds of impressed. This is ridiculous. Look, guys, I get it. You just keep pushing them numbers and just keep making them silly. I think Simic Gruul is going to be a heck of a combination.
Yep.
And it's cards like these that are just absolutely pushed to the top that are just going to get you there. And I just can't believe it. Sometimes I can't believe it. I don't want to, but, we are where we are in Magic, and things get outclassed, and that's fine. I'm old. Whatever. God, this card is awesome. Play it
very
limited.
Powerful.
You're going to love it. Don't play like multiples more than likely.
No, 6 mana is a lot.
This is one of those cards like you can get 2 or 3 in sealed, and you're like, oh, sweet, and then you'll just get like 2 in your opening hand, and you'll just die while you have these in your opening hand. So it's a great card. It's super powerful, but it's probably only a 1 of. Maybe a 2 of if you have a bunch of acceleration. Signal of the Clans. What?
I've never seen such a confusing red-green card.
It's a weird card.
Like,
I mean,
at first I thought you could do so many cool things with it, but then I forgot. Then I was just like, wait, no. Then that would make me not be able to, trigger the second part of it. And so now it's just pick 3. They get to pick 1. It's just like, that's so boring.
well,
And they don't even go to the
no,
graveyard.
they choose one at random. They don't even get to tell you which one you get.
Oh,
it's just, you
choose
search,
all you
right,
random,
and they
okay.
all have to be 3 different names. Now, if they're all the same name, that might be interesting because if you search up 3 biovisionaries,
Then it doesn't trigger. They choose one at random and then put it in your hand.
oh god, if
You
I
have
oh man, this card makes me
That's what I mean.
sad.
Yeah, you can't go for 3 of the same card. You
Right.
have to go for 3 random creatures
And then you randomly get one,
and then
so
put the
like,
other 2 back. Yeah, it's so just blah.
Like people like intuition. I like intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a super cool card. Super interesting way to think about it. I thought this was like the creature intuition, and
Exactly.
I was like,
and
"Oh
I
my
thought
god, this is
you
amazing!"
could push it because I think that Grizzly Salvage is better than Impulse.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that card is so good.
Wow.
And so make it better in intuition for creatures. But
Sure. I was
No.
like, yeah, I couldn't believe it when I read it like as an intuition. I was like, "Oh my god, what have they done?" And then you read it again and you go, "Oh, that's what they did to
Yeah.
it. They did what you didn't want them to do." It stinks. I don't in limited.
I mean, it's
the others go back in your library, so you're not really losing them.
well, and it's fine because
it's
you
your
can
3
go
best
find
creatures.
you can go find a Blood Rush card.
Yeah.
Too. Like you can just 3 different Blood Rushes for the win.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I think in limited you're going to find that it has applications in
Yeah.
that you either find your 3 best creatures or you find your 3
Mm-hmm.
best Blood Rush cards at the time or whatever, because it is an instant, which is cool.
Yeah.
But just this is one of those I was like really excited and then really disappointed all at the same time.
very weak.
Skarg Guildmage, one of the most underrated guild mages.
Yes.
Absolutely underrated.
Just for 2 mana, your entire team gets trampled, which is so powerful. Why not just 1 creature? No, they pushed it. You get all. And
of them.
for 8 mana, you attack with 2 4/4s. Which I know 1 4/4 sounds like the standard, but I look at cards like this for what they are when they're the most mana. When I have the most mana to do nothing with.
Sure.
And putting 2 4/4s into play is winning the game at the end of the end.
And that's pretty terrific. And
Yeah.
the fact that you're in a guild that has a lot of high power guys that will enjoy the trample that you can provide them and make the most use out of it, like this card is very powerful. They did not skimp on Skarg Guildmage, and I don't feel like it's probably constructed worthy. It's just close, not there.
Yeah, no,
But-
it's not constructed playable.
Yeah, I mean, like the land becoming a 4/4 would have to have been cheaper, and I don't want it to be cheaper. That
No.
seems really scary and dumb. So, like, it's fine. But like, as a guild mage in limited, one of those like I think all the guild mages just make you feel really good,
Yeah,
and they
they're
just
all
do
very good spells.
all very powerful things. And this is just another in the line of like, man, this card
And
feels
they give
great.
and this card gives all your Blood Rush trample now, which is really sweet. So I love this card. I mean, I love all the guild mages. They were really well done.
They all did a terrific job. I agree. Zerta Swine. Already made fun of the name once. Why don't we do it one more time? Zerta.
Why couldn't it have been a Boar Blizzard thing?
Bory.
Couldn't it have just like kind of like walked out of Simic into Gruel?
I mean, if you're going to be a woolly Thoktar, okay.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean-
to be fair though, I think this isn't constructed playable, but it's so close. I think this card's so good.
I agree. They showed this before they showed Gore Clan Rampage.
Yep.
And I was just like, okay, maybe this is like the Blood Rush cards that gets there because it gives the biggest bonus or the best bonus. And then Rampager was like, no, I'm gonna let you finish. But
In fact,
I'm the best Blood Rush card of all time. But yeah, I was expecting that this might actually be constructed playable just for the bonus, but not so much. And as a 5-mana 5/4, it's going to be great in your Simic decks, your Simic Gruul decks, and triggering the evolve you need it
Yep.
to. But otherwise, it's a great combat trick. This is a good card. Like, this is just a straight up solid card. You're going to enjoy it in your Gruul decks.
And this is now a creature that you will want a lot of. You can support like 3 or 4 of this guy if you get them.
Right, it's
Because they
okay.
are pump spells too.
Right, that's the most important part. Like, it's a lot cheaper for the pump spell too.
Mm-hmm.
So for only 3 mana, you start getting value out of this. You get 2 of those in your opening hand. Like, okay, whatever.
You have sold me. You just sounded like a salesman there.
But there's more.
There's more.
There's not. It's just a terrible name. All right. Burning Tree Emissary.
Is this supposed to do something?
It's supposed to be, I think, Manamorphose on a dude, but because it doesn't draw a creature, or doesn't draw a card rather,
yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah, it is its own creature, so that's the card that it gives you. Yeah, no. And Manamorphose made blue mana.
Metamorph, yeah, I made any mana, and like it's just it's one of those cards. It's just like a piece to the puzzle.
Yeah,
you know?
I just want to go up to that emissary and be like, bring back the shaman. Where's the shaman?
Yeah.
Give us the shaman. That card was good.
Whew. Burning Tree, Mr. Shaman. Whew,
His stats were still like fine.
His stats were still very good, and the fact that he would these days he would punish Planeswalkers would be so nice.
Yep,
would be so sweet. And also because they would use this Planeswalker, his ability would remove more counters from the Planeswalker. That'd be awesome. It'd be so good. But we don't have Burning Tree Shaman. We have Burning Tree Emissary.
Yeah.
And as a bear, he's okay.
He's fine. I mean, if you maybe can get some tempo out of him.
He's a piece to the puzzle that I can't put together.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And if somebody does, it's probably pretty scary.
Congratulations.
It's a storm type thing, you know.
Yep.
It's a card that exists to kind of replace itself mana-wise, blah, 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 blah. In limited, it's not going to be that great.
Pit Fight.
Raw.
This card's sweet. I just love the name. Like, Prey Upon, that sucked. That name was
okay.
It was fine, but that's all it was Prey Upon. Pit Fight?
Is Pit Fight, baby.
I'm going to, like, bring my own ring to the Magic tournaments and put both creatures in.
Yeah.
Like, grab some popcorn.
Two creatures in, or one creature leaves. You know?
It's always mine, because I get
seat, you only need the edge. Like, I get it. Like, it's going to be insane. So, the idea of Prey Upon becoming instant speed for one more mana, both in red or green now, loving it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Loving it. Awesome. Terrific card in limited. Play it every time. Don't play a bunch of them, but probably play one.
What?
Play a bunch of them.
Yeah, if you're a Gruel, play all of them.
Play all of them. Blood Rush and then Pit Fight. Oh.
Yeah.
Give
it trample.
The dream is alive. The dream is alive. I love it. Rubble. What?
5 times fast.
Rubble Belt Raiders. Rubble Belt Raiders. Oh my God. Rubble Belt, really? What is this? That's absurd.
It's a belt made out of rubble. It's very obvious.
Yeah, I gotta hold up my pants with these rocks.
It's like actual from Flintstones.
Wow, it's Barney's Raiders.
Yeah.
See what I did there? You see what? Okay. 4 mana for a 3/3. It attacks. You get a counter on every attacking creature you control. When you are Gruul and you are working on blood rushing, wow.
Yeah.
Card is scary.
And in standard, Hell Rider is too good for this, or Falcon Wrath Aristocrat.
It's not good enough for standard.
But this card is super powerful and not to be underestimated.
In limited, it's an actual bomb.
Yeah.
You play everyone you find. You draft everyone you see. It is rare, so you're not going to see a lot of them. But like, wow, this card is sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yeah, I really like it.
I love it, and the art's great. Gruul Key Rune.
It's got the best 80s metal hair of all time. It's just rocking out.
Here he is, rocking like a Gruul mage. Like, he's getting it done.
Yes.
It becomes a 3/2 with a trample, just like you want it to. I like it.
Yep.
It's a good card. It's going to pump out your more expensive, guys like the 7/6 we saw earlier, and it's going to get in the beats like you want it to.
Yeah, and late game when you animate it, it has a trample to go with all the blood rush effects. So
if you're in these colors, you play this key rune.
Yep.
And that's generally the rule for basically all of them.
Except is it because that one sucks?
It was not great. Gruul Guildgate, awesome art. Love it. We'll see play in all of your decks that have these colors.
I have nothing to add.
Stomping Ground. I like the roots and the stuff around the buildings.
I do too, but I don't see any stomping going on. Like, how is that the Stomping Ground? I like the old Stomping Ground.
I think the old Stomping Ground actually didn't show much either. It was just kind of like a hillside thing, and it's like.
But that's because it was all stomped down.
Sure do like looking at dirt. Now the Thespian stage. All right, now we're going to get past the Gruul stuff. We're going to get into some other stuff, and the glare down's coming. So, all right, so Thespian stage is awesome, absolutely awesome, best Masuva ever.
Tell me what you can do with it.
But it doesn't for me. What I see for it in constructed, my only use right now is that it's going to probably copy one of their utility lands.
Yep.
I'm going to copy your Gabby Township. I'm going to copy your Drown Yard, in the mirror. I'm going to be able, this land is going to be whatever I want it to be at the time I need it to be that.
Yep.
So it's going to fix my mana, or it's going to be your best land, or it's going to be more of my best land. And that versatility, like in Commander, this thing is just amazing.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely terrific. In Standard, again, I really don't see it as more of like a one-of.
I mean, it could maybe make a Cloud Post deck, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. There you go. Well,
I
like,
mean,
16
Tron
post.
seems better.
Well, 16 post in Modern or whatever it is in Legacy, like, okay, it'll be fine. But, you know, for me, I'm most excited because, like, I play Vesuva in Cube, and I think Thespian Stage might either sort of complement it or even maybe replace it in some ways, because sometimes Vesuva would bite you in that you couldn't play it and tap it for mana.
I don't like any clone effects in my cubes. Because they're all one-ofs, and I like them all to be one-ofs.
What?
I'm serious.
What?
I don't like any.
Is that your actual reasoning?
Huh? Well, I wouldn't put this in my cube. Yeah, if I had my own cube or my friend had a cube, yeah.
I have a cube.
I know you. I played your cube. I beat you in your cube. I had to top deck against him. I got very lucky. Every time I've ever actually beat Evan Irwin, I have top decked against him on the last
time, man. Every single time.
Game 3, I can't win. Top deck the one answer in my deck.
It's my life. It's my life. Whatever. Thespian Stage, ultimately, I say get your foils and sit on them. That's what I say.
Oh, yeah, a card like this, especially because it's really sweet art.
It's great art. John Avon did obviously an amazing job as always. And, you know, just
it's
the card.
Very good.
I love it. In limited.
Yeah. Unless you're like a 4-color mess.
Yeah, you're going to be a 4-color mess. It does copy your gates.
Yeah.
You know, it does tap for mana when it comes into play. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a fan of Shimmering Grotto in splashing for a 3rd color. A lot of people liked it. I didn't.
Well, the fact that it becomes that card, you know, forever, and you don't have to pay the extra mana every time, which is why sort of Shimmering Grotto kind of got on my nerves too. That's a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, it is only one initial.
This isn't like a bomb and limit or anything.
I don't think
it's a good card in a 3-color deck.
Maybe.
With gates.
I probably won't play it because I don't think the 3rd color has like a double, like you'll never need 2 of it, so once you finally get it.
But also think of there's a bunch of cards that say tap a gate or untap a gate or whatever,
Sure,
or if you have a gate. And the ability to just sort of, you know, take advantage of that and get more of that mana fixing, I think that's pretty
You can play it, but don't draft it high. Unless you want the rare.
No, I wouldn't draft high for sure unless you're just rare drafting, but like... I'm talking about sort of sealed. You know, I open one.
Sure, yeah.
I'm playing 3 colors and sealed. I'm definitely going to be running.
Oh, because I'll be playing 3 colors and they're going to be playing one of them.
Yeah, whatever. Sure. Armored transport. What?
I wanted. It's the least utility armored transport ever. Because are those legs or are those?
I think they're legs. You prevent all damage that would be dealt 2 creatures blocking it. Okay.
It's yeah.
All right.
It's the little wagon that could.
It's a wagon. That's all I got. I'm sorry. This card's not great.
And then it didn't get blocked, but everyone inside died of dysentery.
Yeah. I mean, like, is this the part where you say you have to play this card because you need something in your 3-drop in your Gruel deck or something?
Oh, no. You just go past it and we move on. This card was bad.
All right.
It's the glare off.
That's right.
All right. You can go first, sir.
All right, I'm going first. Woo! This card feels like a Star Wars CCG card. It's the weirdest, craziest, like most awkward answer I've ever seen. It doesn't even deal damage to the stupid creatures. Like, congratulations, my Geist is targetable now. Take 6. It's great. This card isn't even. It has nothing to do with Hexproof. You know what this card is? It's not. It doesn't even. It's not even a hoser. This card is a 4-mana sorcery that says all my guys are hexproof and unblockable, or it says 1 mana. Hang out over here, pay 3 mana, you can't target my guys and I want to kill you. Like, I think that's actually why this card's good. It's almost like they put like a silhouette of like what looks like a beautiful woman in a piece of paper. And then like if you rip past the thing, it's just like this big scary monster is going to kill you. It's like look at this, it hoses hexproof. It doesn't matter. It just means in my zombie deck or my aggro, my humans deck or whatever, I have 1 mana out there. Now I can deal with your stupid hexproof if I want to. But mainly, when I untap and I'm trying to get in for the win and you're trying to burn my guys or do whatever, I make them hexproof and I make them unblockable and I kill you. I don't know. All I'm saying is the ability for it to pay 4 mana and all your guys are unblockable and just kill them is pretty powerful. Actually, I think that's what's interesting about this card. Not the stupid hexproof crap.
No, I agree. The add-on of the ability gives it versatility out of a sideboard. It gives you like a charm-esque feel where you can do 2 things. But my only rebuttal is how good will it feel to Pillar Flame an Invisible Stalker? Honestly, emotionally invested. How good will that feel? I swear, I want to sit there and I want to have this in play and they have an Invisible Stalker and I'm just like, Staticaster it for 1.
Oh, yeah!
Yes!
Good.
We did it!
With a chip. That was
One
terrible.
more. Yes.
I'm not right. I'm not left-handed. That's why it was bad. It doesn't matter because it's got, like there are endorphins in your brain right now, ready to fire.
Yes.
Waiting.
Because it's so amazing to just they've killed us so many times. That Geist, with that pillar flame in hand and that Geist, you just can't do. Now it's just like you're dead.
Stalker and Cleaver. Don't get me started.
It feels dirty. It feels so dirty to kill it with the removal spell.
I love it. I love it. I love that. Trust me, I like that aspect. I do. I'm just like, I think they were just trying to just distract everybody with this weird paragraph of text that's so silly. Like, now you can target things. It doesn't let you, it doesn't kill them. It just lets you. Okay.
Well, yeah, I definitely believe that this card could have just had none of that text and only had the secondary ability of, like, unblockable.
Would have been interesting.
It maybe had something else that was more flavorful, and then they're like, yeah, we need to kill these Hexproof.
They're like, we're getting scared.
Yeah.
We're getting a little worried. We're getting a little scared. And then the Grand Prix kind of showed them that their fears were correct. Anyway, Illusionists Bracers. This is a Johnny card. This was given to their Johnny writer on dailymtg.com. This is not quite Rings of Brighthearth, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
Rings of Brighthearth plus Planeswalkers is a little scary, and they just kind of like, we're just going to have it be in a, equipped creature, and as long as it doesn't make mana, it should be okay. And
well, the thing that I instantly went to is like those kind of mana-esque creatures where they like untap each other. Mm-hmm. Like they tap to untap a different creature because you get a double ability. That one just, you get the ability off of whatever you have. So like this card looks like an elf combo, or like the casual kitchen table elf deck.
Yep.
And you know what? I was that person. I was the casual elf deck. That was the first deck I ever played, so I always go back to that deck, right?
And that's
where
great.
I can like double Well-Wisher and do stuff like that.
Yay!
So I really like this card. I think this is just kitchen table. Don't play it in standard.
No. It's super cool. It's not probably going to do anything in your limited deck
No.
either. Like, I guess maybe you want to attach it to a guild mage or something. Like, okay.
Yeah, but then you have to find your 2-card combo.
Right. So you
It's
got to
like,
find
man,
it.
I'm
you
so
gotta
glad I
equip it.
found this bracers to use the card that I could already use.
I mean, I got to work so hard to try to get like twice the effect when I could probably just
Yeah.
play twice as much mana, but whatever. Point is, for something that just sort of drives Magic players wild and their imagination, and like this is one of the cards that like it's a let me show you how this works kind of card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I want to play this, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to kill you. Let me show you. You're dead. You know, like that's cool for me, and I think those cards are needed.
And now it's time to go to algebra.
And then we X and we Y and you're dead. Millennial Gargoyle.
The weakest of all the flying artifact creatures of all time.
I mean, I'll take Primal Clay as a 2/2 flyer, the end.
No, I will not. I will not stand for this, Wizards.
This is not okay.
This is bad.
This card is okay. It's just, it's mediocre.
It's very mediocre.
It's so mediocre. And like, you might play it as a 23rd card in your draft deck.
Exactly, and it can
Might
go
play
in
it as your
anyone's
sealed
deck.
Yeah, it's going to go into anything. It
Yep.
gives everybody evasion, no matter what guild you're in. And so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's mediocre. We can't get excited about it. We can't tell you not to play it. Don't play Instructed. Okay.
Unless you're a madman.
Next. Prophetic Prism. Reprinted, baby.
I love this card.
This card's great.
It's just the worst timing ever because it's like, you have perfect mana, here's a fixer.
Oh, come on. What they found in the original, like shards, everyone complained about shards not having enough fixing, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous because by the time the block was over, you had infinite fixing everywhere.
Yep.
And so the next time they made a multicolor block, they're like, we're just going to shove the fixing down your throat and make sure everyone has fixing all the time forever. And so here we go. This is a terrific card. You will always play it in your limited deck. It cycles through your, well, you don't always, but it will cycle through your deck. It will draw you cards. It will fix your mana. There's few times in which this card is bad.
No, I love this card. It was actually a funny answer. I always used to play Spreading Seas in Standard, and this was like a Jund answer out of the sideboard to beat Spreading Seas, and I thought that was so cool about it.
That was really cool for a while.
Yeah.
They played Prophetic Prisms to counteract this other card.
Yep.
I love that. That to me, it's kind of a warped metagame in that regard. Like the metagame is so bad that you have this card that's going to stop this other card that stops your land.
Yeah.
But like,
stops you from casting your Bloodbite Elf, hopefully.
Right. That stops you from playing this 4-drop.
Like you open
later.
on a hand of 4 lands through Spreading Seas on the play, and you're like, yep, the nuts, I can't lose.
Can't lose this one. And then a Prophetic Prism, you're like, oh. But yeah, so this card is great. It's going to fix all your mana problems. The more colors you have in your deck, the more prophetic prisms you want.
And it's fun when you're developing a certain strategy or even around Planeswalkers or control to just like cantrip early in the game. The dynamic of the game evolves when you just go from having 8 or 9 cards during that time to 10. You just have more land drops. You have more action to figure things out. I like air like this.
I'm going to have fun playing and drafting 5-color control or 5-color anything when all 3 sets are together, because this is going to be like one of those quiet all-stars, you know.
Oh yeah.
You want to get all the prophetic prisms in pack 2 before you, you know, and while you're getting all the key runes and all this other
in
stuff.
limited, this card's awesome.
It's limited, the guy's an absolute all-star.
Yeah, especially he just lets you splash and he lets you dig deeper in your deck. Yeah, this card's amazing limited.
Terrific. Razor tip whip. Now, there was a darts, something darts, like tell Gerard's darts or something. And it was 2 mana, and it was 2 mana to activate and do this exact thing.
The power creep is unfathomable.
Like, yeah, so they have totally outclassed this card from like Mirage. So sorry. And yeah, it's not great.
This is better than the like mill 2s or whatever. Like
it is better than
those sets get like just dealing the 1 damage. Like I could see myself boarding this in certain matchups. I could. You couldn't?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, what match are you going to board it in against? Like,
I don't know.
Orzhov, they're going to extort you to death.
Orzhov Mirror.
I want multiple. I want to razor tip whip someone to death. Think about it. All right. Riot Gear. Hello.
The
mediocre. What's two?
Yeah, it's just
holy strength, ladies and gentlemen, for 4 mana.
And the best is like when you're in Ravnica, right? And you need to bring in like the riot crew. Like I feel like +1/+2 is not enough power and toughness for these.
We're going in.
And it's like
strength.
It's just like huge monster taking over the city, and they're like, "All right, it's your guys' job. Here's your equipment." And they're just like,
the
what?
BRB putting on the power glove, like, like you're dead.
Just start racing.
Bone Splitter gave +2/+1 for 1 mana to equip and 1 mana to cast. This is way down the rabbit hole of bad.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't play this card. If you're playing it in limited, you're reaching real far.
Yeah.
Skyblinder Staff. Ooh, Skyblinder.
I like
Combo
that.
words. That's a cool word. Skyblinder gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked by Flying Duder guys.
For the low cost of 3 mana. It's not
I think
good.
they just make equipment sometimes just to make equipment.
And yeah, I do.
Because they have slots to fill.
And even in this format, I haven't played this format, but it doesn't look like flying creatures are going to block often.
No, it looks like they're going to beat your face in often.
Yeah.
Like my 3/1 Simic Flyer guy, I am not blocking you with your Skyblindered Staff Duder. I don't care. 3 mana for +1/+0 is not that impressive, let alone worth a spot in your limited deck. Ugh.
Yeah, like you just show up with the Skyblinder Staff and you're like trying to wave it in front of their face, and then the tour's like in a conversation like, "Guy, come on, what are you doing?" Like,
dude, I'm trying to eat here, man.
Yeah.
Come on. The Skyblinder Staff guy won't quit. Did we just?
No.
Wait a minute.
We went through all of them.
All the cards.
There's none left.
Oh my God, guys, we went through all Gatecrash.
Every single one.
That was our Gatecrash set review. That was the experience.
I enjoyed it.
I did. I enjoyed it too.
I
You know what, guys? I think this set is sweet.
I can't wait to play limited. I love that we get a completely new limited format. Yes. It's practically 3 different limited formats.
Right, they literally gave us 3 different limited. Now, I think Wizards should do this more often. I think this is
really
sweet.
sweet. Yeah.
I think the ability to do one thing for a while and do something else, and then like just sort of connect them all together.
And
it's amazing.
Ravnica, this is the only set that's gonna feel old, right? Like Ravnica comes back brand new. It's like, thank you. I want to open these packs again.
Yeah, and this one you're like,
awesome.
Oh, we're doing more of this plus some other awesome stuff.
All I know is I'm gonna be drafting all the time on.
Oh man. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our full Gatecrash set review. And
thank you for being with us for the entire duration.
Guys, it took a long while.
We did it. It got bumpy there.
It got a little bumpy, got a little rough, got a little long, but you know what? We powered through. We made it happen, and I'm happy to have done it. You know what, buddy? I had a good time.
All right.
All right.
And we will see who gets pied.
You and your pie bets. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. For Evan Irwin,
Brad Nelson.
we were tapping the cards.
So you didn't have to.